You want to raffle off a nurse?
Is that what I said?
Colonel Potter, sir, my last wish is to be buried in my mother's wedding gown.
I've seen these Dodgers for 40 years, all the tricks.
Behind the laughter of MASH lies a shocking truth. Some of the show's most beloved actors walked away from stardom, leaving fans confused and heartbroken. Why did they leave a hit show that defined a generation? The real reasons might surprise you. Keep watching as we unravel the untold stories of these stars who chose to walk away. From the first episode in 1972, MASH quickly became one of the most iconic TV shows of all time. It blended uproarious comedy with gut-wrenching drama, capturing the reality of life during the Korean War. The series followed a group of doctors, nurses, and support staff at the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, making it one of the most well-loved programs of the 70s and 80s. But for all its success, MASH wasn't without its problems. Despite the show's ratings, some of the biggest stars walked off the set, seemingly out of nowhere. Was it the grueling hours, the long-standing creative differences, or something deeper, more personal? What led to the shocking exits of these fan favorites, and how did it change the course of the show's history? Stay tuned, because what we're about to uncover about these actors' decisions will surprise you and give you a new perspective on one of TV's greatest shows. Let's begin with one of the most shocking exits of all, McLean Stevenson, who played the lovable Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake. Stevenson's portrayal of Blake, the easygoing and somewhat bumbling commanding officer, became one of the show's most cherished characters. Fans adored his warm, human touch, which brought heart to the chaos of war. However, despite his popularity, Stevenson decided to leave after just 3 seasons in 1975. You might be wondering, why would he leave such a successful show? For Stevenson, it boiled down to feeling underutilized. While MASH was gaining momentum, he felt his character had little room to grow. As the focus shifted towards Alan Alda's Hawkeye and Loretta Swit's Margaret, Stevenson grew frustrated with the lack of substantial storylines for his character.
But his departure wasn't just about frustration. It was also about ambition. Stevenson wanted to become the leading man, not just part of an ensemble. His decision was bold, and it left a mark on the show. In the final episode of the 3rd season, his character was killed off in one of the most emotionally devastating scenes in television history, the shocking twist of Blake's plane being shot down as he returned home. What happened after Stevenson left? Well, the journey that followed was far from easy, and it was a tough lesson in the unpredictable nature of Hollywood fame. Another major exit from MASH came from Wayne Rogers, who portrayed the charming and fun-loving trapper John McIntyre. As the best friend and foil to Hawkeye, Rogers' character brought a sense of camaraderie and lightness to the show. He and Alda's chemistry made Trapper and Hawkeye one of the most iconic duos in television history. Despite the success of the show, Rogers made the unexpected decision to leave after the 3rd season in 1975, the same year as Stevenson. While many fans were shocked by his departure, the reasons were rooted in creative differences. Rogers felt that his character, Trapper, was becoming sidelined and overshadowed by Hawkeye's increasing prominence. As the show continued to focus more on Alda's character, Rogers became frustrated with the lack of significant storylines and the diminishing role of his own character. Rogers also had concerns about the overall direction of the show. He wanted more control over his character's development and felt that Trapper deserved a more substantial arc. But the producers didn't agree, and when they couldn't reach a resolution, Rogers made the decision to leave MASH. After leaving MASH, Rogers continued to work in television, but he never regained the same level of fame. His next major role was in House Calls, a medical sitcom that earned him a Golden Globe nomination. He also found success in business, making shrewd investments that set him up for financial security after his acting career. While Rogers' departure was a major turning point, it allowed him to pursue different opportunities that ultimately reshaped his career. Larry Linville, known for his role as the arrogant and bumbling Major Frank Burns, made another significant departure from MASH after the 5th season. Burns was a perfect foil to the more lovable characters like Hawkeye and Trapper, and Linville's performance added a unique mix of humor and tension to the show. While his character often served as the target of pranks and jokes, Linville brought depth to Burns, portraying him as a man who was more vulnerable than he appeared. Despite the success of his role, Linville chose to leave the show after season 5 in 1977. His decision stemmed from his desire to explore more diverse roles and avoid being typecast. By the time the 5th season aired, Linville felt that his character had become too one-dimensional. Burns was primarily used as a source of comedy, and Linville wanted to break free from the confines of playing a character whose main purpose was to be the punchline of every joke. Linville's departure was a bold move, leaving behind the security of a hit show for the uncertainty of new opportunities. After leaving MASH, Linville continued to work in television and film, but his post-MASH career never reached the same heights. He appeared in shows like The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Murder, She Wrote, and also had roles in films such as School Spirit and Earth Girls Are Easy. While his post-MASH career didn't match his earlier success, Linville's decision to leave the show reflected his commitment to his craft and desire to avoid being pigeonholed.
Gary Berghoff, who portrayed the iconic and lovable Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly, was another major departure from MASH that left fans wondering why a fan-favorite character would leave the show. Radar's role as the intuitive, kind-hearted company clerk became one of the most beloved aspects of MASH. He was the calm in the storm, always ready with a quiet solution to the chaos around him, and Burghoff's portrayal made him a standout character. Yet, after the 7th season in 1979, Burghoff made the surprising decision to leave. The reason? Burnout. The long, grueling hours of filming, combined with the pressures of fame, took a toll on his personal life. His marriage was strained, and the demands of the show made it hard to balance his family responsibilities. Burghoff also felt that his character had reached its full potential, and he wasn't sure where else Radar could go. Unlike the departures of Stevenson, Rogers, and Linville, Burghoff's exit was handled with care by the producers. In his final episode, Radar made the emotional choice to return home to run the family farm after the death of his uncle, providing a satisfying and heartfelt conclusion to his character's journey. Post-MASH, Burghoff struggled to find roles that resonated as deeply with audiences as Radar had. He appeared in various TV shows and movies, but none of his roles matched the level of love fans had for Radar. Eventually, Burghoff turned to other pursuits, including his passion for wildlife art, where he found a sense of personal fulfillment beyond acting. The departures of McLean Stevenson, Wayne Rogers, Larry Linville, and Gary Berghoff had a lasting impact on MASH, both in terms of the show's narrative and its fan base. While each actor had their own reasons for leaving, their exits forced the show to evolve and shift focus, adding new characters and dynamics to fill the gaps left behind. After Stevenson's departure, the show introduced B.J. Honeycutt, played by Mike Farrell, as Hawkeye's new partner, and Colonel Sherman T. Potter, played by Harry Morgan, replaced the beloved Henry Blake as the commanding officer. While these changes were difficult for fans to accept initially, they brought fresh energy to the series and allowed new relationships and storylines to develop. However, the departures of these key actors meant MASH would never quite be the same. The chemistry between the original cast was irreplaceable, and their departures marked the beginning of a new chapter for the show. Rogers' exit, in particular, left a noticeable void in the dynamic between Trapper and Hawkeye. Without Trapper, the show shifted its tone, focusing more on Hawkeye's individual character. Linville's departure from his role as Major Burns created a similar void. His absence forced the writers to introduce Major Charles Winchester, played by David Ogden Stiers, who brought a different kind of tension to the group. Though his character was well received, Burns' absence was felt by both the cast and the viewers. The departures weren't just a shift for the show. They also marked turning points in the actors' lives and careers. After the departures of some of MASH's most beloved stars, the show had no choice but to evolve. The balance between comedy and drama shifted as new characters filled the roles left behind. While the show was still a major hit, it had to face the challenge of continuing its legacy without some of its key players. The addition of Mike Farrell as Captain B.J. Honeycutt in Season 4 brought a new kind of warmth and chemistry to the show, particularly with Alan Alda's Hawkeye. B.J. was a calmer, more grounded counterpart to Hawkeye's rebellious nature, yet their bond echoed the same energy that fans loved in the earlier seasons. Similarly, Colonel Sherman T. Potter, portrayed by Harry Morgan, brought a fatherly presence to the camp, replacing Henry Blake's easygoing leadership style with a more seasoned, authoritative approach. But replacing the core dynamics wasn't easy. The departure of Wayne Rogers, who had embodied the perfect foil to Hawkeye and Trapper, left a gap in the show's camaraderie. In his place, the show introduced new dynamics, including the introduction of Major Charles Winchester, played by David Ogden Stiers. While Winchester was a skilled surgeon, his elitism and self-importance created tension that added a fresh layer of drama. Despite these changes, MASH continued to thrive, though it was never quite the same. The void left by the original cast members was palpable, and their absence marked a significant turning point in the show's evolution. The legacy of MASH extends far beyond its run on television. The show's ability to tackle serious social issues with humor and sensitivity resonated deeply with audiences, and the departures of its key stars only added to the enduring mystique of the series. While the actors who left the show were never fully replaced, their contributions to MASH became an integral part of its legacy. McLean Stevenson's portrayal of Henry Blake set the tone for the show's unique balance of comedy and tragedy. His departure created one of the most iconic moments in TV history, when Blake's plane was shot down. That twist was as emotional as it was unexpected, and it gave viewers a sobering reminder of the real costs of war. Though Stevenson moved on to other ventures, his role as Henry Blake remains one of his most beloved and memorable. Wayne Rogers, too, left his mark as Trapper John, the carefree surgeon who brought a sense of adventure to the camp. His departure left Hawkeye with a partner who was different in every way, but that shift in dynamic still shaped the heart of MASH's storytelling. Rogers' legacy as Trapper John is one of the show's enduring highlights. Larry Linville's Major Frank Burns was the perfect foil to the other characters. He might have been despised by fans for his arrogance, but Linville's performance brought a complexity to the character, making him more than just the butt of jokes. His departure paved the way for new characters, but Burns' absence was deeply felt by both viewers and the cast. After MASH wrapped up in 1983, the actors who had left before its final season each took different paths, hoping to carve out new careers and embrace fresh opportunities. But the transition wasn't always easy. For many, the legacy of MASH loomed large, and living up to the fame and recognition they had gained from the show proved difficult. McLean Stevenson, after his departure, never quite found the same level of success. Though he starred in several TV shows, such as The McLean Stevenson Show and Hello Larry, neither managed to capture the magic of MASH. His post-MASH career was marked by a string of failed projects, and though he continued to work, his later roles never reached the iconic status of his time on the series. Wayne Rogers, on the other hand, found success in business. While his acting career never fully matched his role as Trapper, Rogers became a savvy investor and financial analyst. He even appeared as a financial expert on Fox News. His post-MASH career was a mix of television appearances and entrepreneurial success, showing that he was capable of thriving in a variety of fields. Larry Linville continued to act, but never achieved the same level of fame. His post-MASH roles in shows like The Love Boat and Fantasy Island did not capture the same attention, though he remained a respected character actor. Gary Berghoff's journey after leaving MASH was perhaps the most reflective. He pursued his passion for wildlife art and nature, finding fulfillment outside the entertainment industry. MASH may have ended its run in 1983, but its impact on television and popular culture continues to resonate. The departures of the main actors may have shifted the tone of the show, but the legacy they left behind shaped MASH into the iconic series it remains today. The characters, both beloved and divisive, continue to be remembered, not just for their roles on screen, but for the personal stories and decisions that defined their careers. While the show shifted after these actors left, one thing remained constant: the show's ability to blend humor and humanity in the face of war. McLean Stevenson's departure set a precedent for emotional storytelling, with his character's shocking death signaling that MASH would never shy away from difficult themes. Wayne Rogers and Larry Linville's exits similarly allowed for new dynamics and character growth, pushing MASH to evolve and address fresh challenges. Gary Berghoff's departure, perhaps the most personal of all, showcased the importance of balance between career and personal life, a theme that resonated with audiences who admired his decision to prioritize family and fulfillment over fame. Today, MASH is still regarded as one of television's greatest shows, celebrated not only for its groundbreaking comedy and drama, but also for the real-life struggles and sacrifices of its cast. The decisions these actors made continue to shape the way we view the balance between personal fulfillment and professional success, both on screen and in life.